What's up, gamers, and welcome back for more WotC-20. Today's matchup is TYPHLOSION Exeggutor versus Steelix and Fortress. TYPHLOSION is on the left with Exeggutor, you can tell by the execute in the active, and on the right side will be our Steelix and Fortress pilot. The Exeggutor in question here is the Aquapolis Exeggutor with Super Explosion as the attack. The execute in the active at the moment also from Aquapolis. Looks like turn 1 we're going to be seeing Fan Club, which is very common, and they will be going to grab a Cleffa and a Cyndaquil. Cyndaquil used to power up to TYPHLOSION, which is how energy acceleration gets going to power up that Super Explosion attack on Exeggutor. So we'll talk about it more when we get there. For now, they will attach a single fire energy and use Continuous Explosion, which allows you to flip a coin until you get tails, and it will deal 10 times the number of heads. However, it looks like it was a tails immediately on the baby rule, so going to be hard to push damage through with that attack in the face of a Cleffa. Cleffa gets a warp attach for turn as turn 1 begins for Steelix. And it looks like we're going to start off also with a Fan Club, big surprise. Going to go and grab 2 bench Pokemon here. I know that this build runs a Blackstar Promo Eevee, and there it is. That is to turbo out with Chain Reaction and Aquapolis Espeon for some energy manipulation and flexibility and utility. Very strong card. Pairs very well with Fortress and Steelix. And I'm probably doing a quick deck check here. Always good to see what your prizes may or may not be. Meanwhile, on the other side, you might have noticed the Wooper. There is a Quagsire from E-Reader in this Explosion deck that tries to take advantage of type spread and also has a 4-cost colorless slam attack, so we'll see if that becomes relevant. Otherwise, Onyx from Southern Islands has joined the bench, and it looks like they're trying to decide what to do here, whether or not they will Eek. Big decision, apparently. I believe that was just a pass back, so very much likes the hand, I believe. Meanwhile, on Exeggutor's side, Quagsire has joined the bench. We'll talk about that in a moment. You can also see they have a Pokemon Center in the hand. This build usually does not keep energy on board very long, as Super Explosion triggers over and over. So Pokemon Center is very much a powerful free healing card in this particular deck. Another Pokemon Fan Club that will be supported for turn. We'll see what other 2 Pokemon get grabbed. Surely another Cyndaquil. Being able to energy accelerate with 2 Pokemon is a big deal. And while they're trying to find the cards they would like, Quagsire is also from Aquapolis. Water Gun is not an attack we'll be seeing this game. There is no water energy in this deck that I'm aware of. But Slam does 50 for each heads off of 2 flips. So it can do 0, 50, or 100. Very swingy. This deck also leveraging DCE for either Quagsire or TYPHLOSION. The TYPHLOSION in question is Expedition TYPHLOSION with Heat Up, not the other, also familiar Fire Recharge Neogenesis TYPHLOSION. Now it will be a computer search, just carding a fire energy as well as a Pokemon Center to go and grab an Oak, so oaking away an empty hand for a fresh 7. That's a good turn right there. Lots of cycle. And we'll see what the fresh 7 is. Supportive return already used. Worth noting too that the Wooper on bench is also here for its lightning resistance, even though Vending Mime is available in format. That Wooper can really shut down a Rocket Zapdos. Amnesia is a pretty good attack, but like I said before, no water energy in this build, so it's really there for Slam. Flip 2 coins, 20 for each heads. And there is our first Exeggutor. Fire attached for turn 2 is Cyndaquil. So did not opt to go for a second Cyndaquil line. That second Town View was a Wooper as well as an Execute. And another Fan Club from Fortress's side. So both sides found 2 very early Fan Clubs. Both require quite a bit of bench setup to get rolling. And there is a Pineco from Skyridge. There are 2 Skyridge Pinecos, but this is the 50 HP one, not the 40 HP one. And another Eevee, it looks like. Nope, just kidding. I would expect another Pineco. Stacking the Spikes ability of Fortress is a big deal for this deck, and it looks like instead Igglybuff? There could also be another Pineco in hand. We know that the pilot did not eke last turn. And now a DCE and a Steelix, evolving that Onix. Espeon already on board from a previous evolution, probably the Exeggutor, I have to imagine. Did miss the Espeon evolution, but that's how interactive Eevee with Blackstar Promo's ability is. Quagsire gets gusted into the active, putting that Exeggutor on the bench. Quagsire has a retreat cost of 2. And it looks like now there was an Eek off of that Quagsire, so just slowing things down, getting energy on Steelix. Computer Search coming down, 2 cards will be discarded, we'll see what they go and grab. Steelix very notorious with that Earth Rift ability, it deals 10 to everything on the opponent's side, and then you flip a coin to see if you can use it again next turn or not, but Iron Smash also a good attack. You flip 2 coins, if you hit 2 heads it does 70, 2 tails it does 0, otherwise it will do 50. As you can tell in this format, lots of coin flips. And a Warp Energy was found for that Quagsire off the comp search. Rolling for the Baby Rule here. Hits through the Baby Rule, now gets to discard as much energy as they want from their side of the board for Super Explosion and roll a die for each one and hits all 3 heads, so that actually dealt 120 damage to Cleffa. You channel your odds, you only needed to hit 1, but hits all 3, so very swingy, high firepower deck. That is the first prize of the game. Turns pass back. Fortress number 1 has joined the board with Spikes, and a Rainbow Energy attaches to Steelix, dealing 10 damage to it. If you're not familiar with Fortress, Spikes reads during your opponent's turn, whenever one of the opponent's bench Pokemon becomes his or her active, Fortress does 10 to it. So you can't get around that with Switch or Warp Energy. If anytime there's a new active during the opponent's turn, Fortress will deal 10 with Spikes. And that is per Fortress. Earth Rift being attempted, and it cannot be used next turn. However, there are lots of tools and ways around that in this format, especially with Espeon and Warp Energy. You can kind of attach Warp per turn, the next turn return it with Energy Return to Espeon and attach it again, or you don't even have to return it the next turn, you can turn it the same turn. So that is very quickly 10 to everything on Exeggutor's side. Very good against babies, like Cleffa. Now that Super Explosion, very early, was done before there's really any engine or setup on Exeggutor's side. Only a Cyndaquil on the bench, and not even multiple, so it's going to be hard to get multiple heat-ups from the eventual Expedition Typhlosion in this deck. Fire attached for turn to Cyndaquil and turns pass back. So both sides taking it slow here. And turns pass back. Not able to do anything. Earth Rift had disabled itself for the turn. Earth Rift can happen next turn though, so we'll keep an eye on that.
I didn't really know what happened in
2 Pokemon Centers in hand. A little early to use it though. DCE in hand as well. Decides to just pass. Lots of passing. Vending Mime joins the bench. And a metal attach for turn to Steelix. Earth Rift is good for next turn as well, and that is also the attack for the turn, so Cleffa is on knockout alert.
One heads, one tails. Two tails is nothing.
Playing the Vending Mime is interesting because yes, it gets rid of your fire weakness in case Typhlosion becomes an attacker, but it also gets rid of your grass resistance if you are fronting a Fortress or the Steelix. And not a lot to do, it looks like. There is a Recycle Energy, so Recycle Energy can allow you to Super Explode for 1 each turn. Kinda slow, not ideal, but it's an option, and with that Vending Mime down, dealing 40 to Steelix is pretty tempting. And instead retreats, puts in Cyndaquil, which cannot hit for super effective damage. Cyndaquil coming active also takes 10 from that Fortress, everyone forgot almost. And just rolled for Fireworks, I guess. So that deals 10. Between the Metal Energy on the Steelix and Mr. Mime being out, it could have done 40, it only does 10. Also looks like the flip on Fireworks discarded the Fire Energy. It is a coin flip to see if the energy card attached to Cyndaquil is discarded or not. And Earth Rift will come again. Will this knock out Cleffa? Well, it will knock out Cleffa, you just have to see if it can be used again. So that is the first prize of the game for Steelix. Now Cyndaquil also on knockout alert. It is one of 2 Cyndaquils in format with 50 HP. The other one being from E-Reader, Expedition specifically. Tough spot for Exeggutor, going to lose the Cyndaquil, that's very bad. Also lost the Cleffa, so there is another one in hand which helps, but that Cyndaquil is stuck in the active. You would need to use the Recycle Energy to get it out. DCE and Focus Band on the Cyndaquil. It's going to use Quick Attack, hit the heads on the Quick Attack. That will deal 30 to Steelix, but reduced to 20. Remember, super effective not kicking in here, so Steelix has 30 damage on it. It's a slow burn. Rainbow attached for turn to Espeon, so that enables Damage Blast. It deals 30, and then you flip a coin for each damage counter on the opponent, and for each heads it deals an additional 10. We will see if that matters. Pinecode joins the bench, so full bench now for Fortress. Gonna go for the Iron Smash, so just needs to not hit double tails for the knockout. Gets 1 heads, that will deal 50. Focus Band roll is bad, so Cyndaquil goes to the bin with a DCE attached to it. And now Steelix is up on prizes, and it's 4 to 5. Recycle Energy attached for turn to Exeggutor, going straight for the Super Explosion. And it's on the ground, now worth noting. And it's a Tails anyway, so no damage. It would only deal 30 because of the metal attached as well to Steelix, so 2 of those still would not be enough for a knockout. Steelix would be at 90 out of 100 in that case, so tough math right now. Potion energy on the Steelix, that's interesting. It's gonna bounce with Espeon, I assume. So the math from that isn't favorable quite yet, but over time it certainly will be. Steelix now at 20 damage. Potion energy returned with Espeon. That was the attached return as well. Espeon can return any energy on your side of the board to your hand, as often as you want during your turn. And I can't read that die, but that was Earth Rift. We'll see if it can be used next turn or not. Bench spread continues. Comp search found off the top for Exeggutor, pretty timely. See if they can do something with it. Really needs to get Typhlosion up and running. And it's going to be a recycle for turn to the Exeggutor, which is discarded with Super Explosion, and it's a Tails again. Welcome to WotC. Pineco evolves into Fortress. Now Spikes will deal 20 to anything changing active during the opponent's turn. And I believe Cyclone Energy was just shown and also referred to as bounced with Espeon. So that's the attach for turn. And it looks like, so Earth Rift last turn was a heads, this turn is a tails. Everything on Exeggutor's side is at 20 now. So now you can see with the setup the effectiveness of Espeon in this deck, being able to gradually heal you up between turns if you want, or being able to Cyclone the opponent with Cyclone Energy, force them to switch during your turn. Cyclone is also disruptive. If they have something they really want active, they have to decide if it will take Spikes damage or not. Cleffa with Recycle joins the bench. Turns pass back. At the moment, very comfortable game for Steelix. Potion Energy played, and then Energy returned with Espeon to the hand, so Steelix healing off gradually, down to only 10 HP, or 10 damage on it, I believe. Rolling for Iron Smash. It deals 50. Those 1 heads and 1 tails, turns pass back. Alright, 2 Recycle Energies in hand, 1 on board. Found a Quilava, no Cyndaquil in sight. Quagsire 10 damage away from being knocked out. Earth Rift will clean up the board next turn for sure. Quick bin check for Exeggutor's side. And there's Pokemon Center, so full board heal, that's a big deal. Well timed. Steelix is very predictable in its damage output, unlike this Exeggutor deck. And a Comp Search throwing away Quilava and Typhlosion, so just not going to commit to the Fire line, it looks like. So going to have to figure out real quick how to start marking damage. I have to imagine it would be committing to Quagsire. Grabs a DCE, so I do believe we're going to see some Quagsire trading. The problem is Iron Smash is really good. Trading with Iron Smash is going to be tricky. And also Quagsire in the active, it's going to be taking some damage. Oh, but instead it's used to retreat! So there must have not been another Warped deck. Has to use DCE to get out of the active, put Cleffa in, and Eek before the Cleffa gets knocked out this turn. Cyclone hits the board. and his energy returned with Espeon, so that will force Cleffa out of the active and enable an Earth Rift no matter who becomes active. And that Earth Rift will take Cleffa down. Earth Rift used, and it is a heads that takes down the Cleffa. That is the third prize of the match for Steelix, prizing 5-3. Softens the bench up a little bit. Worth noting, Wooper and Execute both have 50 HP, so they've got some time. Exeggutor and Quagsire both have 80. Cyndaquil hits the bench. Focus Band attaches to Exeggutor in the active. And Recycle Energy is attached to the active, so I assume we're going to see a Super Explosion for 1. It is a heads, so that will deal 30 to the Steelix. Steelix now at 40. Still sitting pretty comfortably. So lots of energy on board for Steelix. Set up with all the metals they need right now. Espeon enabled as well. Plenty of options. Igglybuff not necessarily doing much right now, but it's always good to have a baby on board for insurance.
I'll call you on Discord. Alright, see you, man. Okay. Yeah, thanks, man.
Potion Energy, healing that Steelix from 40 to 30, and then energy returned with Espeon. Will it be Iron Smash? It could knock out the Exeggutor, just needs double heads, and it will be Iron Smash. 1 heads, 1 tails, does 50 again. So Exeggutor now has 20 HP left. Worth noting, if it were to hit the bench, it would not be able to come active during the pilot's turn because of the 2 Fortress on board. Pokemon Center comes down, heals everyone up. This deck runs either 3 or 4 Pokemon Center, some very high number. Few decks can take advantage of it. Recycle Energy comes down to the active. Explosion for 1 deals another 30. Steelix is now at 60, so softening up gradually. Another medal for turn. Rainbow returned to hand. So that makes Steelix even harder to knock out. Explosion will now deal 20 per heads instead of 40 because of that. That buys Steelix 2 turns here. Alright, and Earth Rift used. Can be used next turn. I suspect we'll see Iron Smash next turn. Even though Earth Rift is enabled. There's a Town V in hand, so plenty of options still for Exeggutor's side. We might still see a Typhlosion yet. based on the Quilava being down. It's worth noting too, there's so much energy on the board, but Espeon can return most of it to the hand, so that would, in theory, disable a lot of what Typhlosion would be looking to take advantage of. Typhlosion 4 Fire Energy going back into the deck with Town V. If you're not familiar with Typhlosion from Expedition, the ability Heat Up on it says once per turn before you attack, you can count the total number of energy cards attached to all of your Pokemon and compare that to the opponent's side of the field. If the opponent has more total energy cards attached, you can search your deck for fire energy and attach it to one of your benched Pokemon, if any. So, pretty powerful attack, very good for energy ramping, consistent, it's not on a coin flip like Neogenesis Typhlosion. Of course, that one pulls from the bin, this one pulls from the deck, which is why this build runs so many Town Volunteers to get that energy back into the deck. But point being, if Espeon decides to return a ton of energy and just leave Steelix with something like a DCE, then Typhlosion wouldn't really be able to heat up very much. So Typhlosion finally on the bench for Exeggutor. And that's going to take 2 Super Explosions out here. Looks like one was heads, one was tails. So it looks like Steelix barely survives that one. I think it has 80 damage on it, can't read the die. There's a Cyclone Energy, so this will be an interesting choice. Which active will be made active? And then potentially take an Iron Smash to the face. It will be Quagsire. And here we go, as we were talking about before. Shutting down Heat Up. Both metals get bounced. Steelix potentially being sacrificed. Earth Rift hits, but it cannot be used next turn. Town V pulled off the top for Exeggutor's side. Could still energy ramp. There are 3 attaches on the opponent's board and 0 for Typhlosion. Recycle attaches to Quagsire. Heat Up for 1 will go to the benched Exeggutor. Remember, that cannot attach to the active. And turns will pass back, it seems. Energy removal used. Massive hand. That actually kind of surprised me. I thought it was a deck search for a second, but I didn't see a comp search or anything. But I guess ER was in hand. Hits the fire energy. Metal for turn coming down onto Fortress, so we might see some rapid spinning. Vending Mime continues to be the board piece that is really dictating what's going to be attacking. I believe Earth Rift can't be used this turn, and it will be a pass, so decelerating that metal energy on the previous turn, 2 metal energies, means that Steelix could not attack. Town V in hand and 2 fire energies. You really hate to top deck your fires when you want to use Heat Up. Can still Heat Up anyway and attach for turn. I suspect we might even see Typhlosion come active and swing. Super Singe does 50, and then you flip a coin to see if you burn the opponent. It requires 2 colorless and 2 fire energy, so with DCE in this deck, not too hard to get up and running. Quick bin check for everybody. And based on what I just saw, I don't think there are any gusts in this Exeggutor deck. So being able to gust in the Vending Mime with something like TYPHLOSION active and one-shot it for 50 is not going to happen. Quagsire now has 2 attaches. I assume that's to allow it to retreat later. Exeggutor still being committed to as the attacker. Item Finder being used on Steelix's side, so we'll see if that's for a gust or if it's for an energy removal. You don't need setup, you don't need hand cycle, your hand is massive, so Cyclone and Cleffa going to the bin. There must be another Cyclone in hand, I'd have to guess. Not a very large bin for Steelix, has been very card efficient. Will be an energy removal, and it will hit the active Quagsire because TYPHLOSION can't ramp energy to it while it's active. Potion played and then energy returned with Espeon to heal 10 off the Steelix. Earth Rift hits but can't be used next turn. I think the Steelix, can't tell what the energy or the damage marker is on it. I thought it was pretty close to getting knocked out. I feel like it's at 70 right now. This is a slow, grindy game. Heat up used. Deck getting kinda small. Fire energy now going to TYPHLOSION. Fire attached return to the active Quagsire. Turns pass back. Potion energy used again. Steelix, I think, is now at 60. That would explain the die shift as well. Earth Rift cannot be used this turn, so we shall see. Both sides have 4 attaches, so Heat Up can't be used next turn at the moment. Turns pass back. Now we see an Oak throwing away a Town V. That's kind of wild. 3 cards left in deck. There's another Town V, of course, I think in hand. But what a Town V before oaking, surely. Another oak in hand could just end the game here. DCE attaches to Quagsire. We're gonna slam. 50 per heads, and it's 100. Steelix gets knocked out of nowhere, prizing 4-3 in favor of Steelix still. But very suddenly, things have swung back. A little more even, although there's not many cards in the deck for Typhlosion. Gonna have to work with what's available. Onyx joins the bench on Fortress's side and gets a DCE pretty quickly. It could come in and use Slam as well. Southern Islands Onyx does have a fairly large 90 HP. Slam is the same as on Wooper, where it's 2 flips for 20 per heads. Espeon comes active. Legally buff free retreats, so we're gonna have to talk about Damage Blast. It'll deal 30, but they flip 3 coins and deal an additional 10 for each heads, because there is 30 on the Quagsire. So it'll just deal 30, all 3 are tails. Quagsire at 60 out of 80. So it could get knocked out, but the opportunity to remove Espeon from the board along with a DCE and a Rainbow Energy is huge. Huge, huge, huge. And make sure that DCE stays on Onyx, it can't be moved to Fortress. Lots of choices here. Gonna have to Town V at some point though in these coming turns. Lots of choices being made, apparently. There's the Town Volunteers. This will buy some time. Gotta be taking prizes, though, so I would stand strong and just slam and high roll. Has to take 5 targets. But there's 4 prizes still to be taken for Typhlosion, so it could take some time. Looks like that was all fire energy. I shuffle 4 cards, basically. Obviously more than 4. I think they're actually at 7 or 8. Half of that is now fire energy, though, confirmed. Quagsire is retreating! No! Guess we're gonna see some super exploding. This is likely being done because that's just how badly they would like to knock out this Espeon. And they're gonna discard all 5 energy. 2 recycle will go back to hand, but needs 2 heads. And gets it. Espeon knocked out, energy off the board. Igglybuff back into the active. We're at prize parity, 3-3. But was that too much energy deceleration for Exeggutor to keep things up here? Pineco joins the bench. Steelix gains a metal energy and comes active. Goldberry attached. That's going to be hard to chew through. Gonna have to be an Earth Rift. Quick bin check. Planning out the end game here. And it sounds like, not for reading the die, but for listening to the pilots, it sounds like Earth Rift is a go to be used next turn. Quagsire is on knockout alert. Fire energy for turn drawn, not what you want to see. 3 recycle on hand, but can't play them all fast enough. And another Exeggutor is found. Execute evolves. Heat Up is used on Typhlosion. Has the recycle in the hand. Will Super Explosion for 1, not 2. It is a Tails regardless. So things slowing down again. Another Fortress is found. Pineco evolves on the bench. 3 Fortress online. Spike dealing 30 damage for anyone who has a Cleffa in the hand. Rainbow attached for turn onto Fortress. Spreading those attaches around on the bench for options. Likely to be able to rapid spin between multiple if I had to guess. Earth Rift cannot be used next turn. Quagsire knocked out. 1 prize needed now for Steelix to finish this game. And Exeggutor on knockout alert, so let's see. It can't be used next turn though. Unless there's a warp energy to get Igglybuff active and then free retreat back. That Earth Rift is off. Town V again. So that must be 4. I think I counted 4 instead of 3. Grabbing 2 Cyndaquil, interesting. 3 fire and 2 Cyndaquil. Attach for turn. Actually, that looked like a heat up for the Typhlosion while the deck was being shuffled with Town V. Recycle for turn to the active. There we go. Super Explosion for 3. Okay, we'll do the math after. 2 heads, so that's 80. Deals 70, pops the Goldberry, because there's 1 metal attach. So total damage left on Steelix is 30. Goldberry's gone though, that's a big deal. With an attach for turn and a heat up next turn, Exeggutor could get 2 heads and knock out the Steelix. So there is a line to knock out this Steelix. Rainbow for turn to the benched Fortress, once again spreading all that energy out. And turns pass, couldn't use Earth Rift because of the previous turn. So that Exeggutor sticking around. Certainly here you have to heat up, you have to attach Recycle, you have to hit 2 heads. Prizing still 3-1 in favor of Steelix. There's the heat up. Deck getting thin, still surviving off of the 2 late town Vs. Recycle for turn. It will be Explosion for 2. 1 heads, not 2. Steelix survives. So Steelix is at 60, which means next turn, because of the way metal reduces, next turn you would have to hit 2 heads again. So that was a huge flip. Massive flip. The benched Exeggutor is functionally knocked out because there is so many spikes on the board. Potion energy hits, so now Steelix is at 50. Earth Rift, got a roll for the Focus Band. It is good. Prize denied for now. Cannot use Earth Rift next turn, so keeping things nice and slow. But I don't think there is enough energy in play. I don't think we will see Typhlosion attack. I think preserving the Quagsire earlier to guarantee the Espeon KO was a pivotal choice. Still looks comfy for Steelix. There's a Recycle Energy for turn to the active. Heat Up was on the Cyndaquil. Arbitrary, gonna flip for 2 on this Steelix. Hits the double heads! That's a KO! Prizing 2-1. Alright, and that's game. So DCE enables Rapid Spin for the final prize for Steelix with the Fortress attack. And that'll be it. So thank you for watching. Comment, like, subscribe. We'll catch you next time.